What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about The Monkey, a horror flick that blends gore, humor, and nostalgia. Is it a masterpiece or just another forgettable February horror flick? Let's talk about it. Who knew a toy monkey could cause so much chaos? For those of you who don't know, The Monkey is about two twin brothers who find a toy monkey in an attic, and turns out that this toy monkey is something that carries death with it. The Monkey is based off of a short story by Stephen King and was adapted by Osgood, Perkins, the director of Longlegs. So going into that, I kind of felt like, this might have been a good movie. Now, after watching the trailer, I really didn't have too much high hopes for it because it felt like a movie that was gonna be pretty gory, and I was pretty right. Now, that being said, we're gonna break down a couple things I did like and what I didn't like. So sit back and relax and let's get into it. Let's start off with the good. For me, the movie blended gore and horror seamlessly. The deaths were gruesome enough to get a reaction, but not too far where it wanted to make you hurl your popcorn, you know what I mean? It actually felt more like Final Destination than anything. It didn't really feel like a horror film that sat on its own. It felt like it was really pulling from that sort of horror trope, and I wasn't mad at it, honestly. But that being said, there were things we'll talk about later that I kind of found predictable. When I say the deaths are pretty much Final Destination, I mean it. It really had the same type of deaths in that movie. I mean, there were things happening that I was like, oh yeah, I definitely could see this being that kind of movie as well. I think the movie does a really good job setting the main characters up as well. It gives us enough to care about them, but doesn't take half of the movie to get there. It's about 20 minutes into the movie and you kind of understand what's going on, and we jump to the future. And frankly, I was happy about that. Another thing I felt like it did really well, it blended the horror, suspense, and humor pretty well. Honestly, this movie was pretty funny at times, and I found myself laughing at certain things. And it wasn't like I was laughing at things that normally shouldn't be funny. It just felt like the movie didn't take itself serious, and I could get behind that. There were times where I could see that the movie was trying to set you up to be scared, but it kind of hits you with the comedy right after. And honestly, I kind of enjoyed it. It really pushed the movie forward for me, and it was a fun horror film that I think that if you love horror movies, you're gonna enjoy this. Now let's talk about the bad. This movie tries to be artsy and supernatural in a way that I feel like didn't need to be in this film. It tried to incorporate something that I was just like, that's corny. Like, why would you do that? I don't understand why you would put that in this movie. I don't really want to spoil it, but when you see it, you'll understand what I'm saying. It just felt like they tried to incorporate that just for the sake of it. Maybe it was something that the director really, really wanted, and the studio was like, look, let's just give it to him because we want him to direct this movie. Frankly, I just felt like it really didn't need to happen. Also, the dynamic for the brothers, I felt like the trailer misled us. I think the trailer gives you the impression that these are twin brothers that are going through this together and they got each other's back. But in the actual movie, their relationship feels more cliche than expected. Kind of that reluctant duo who don't really get along with each other, but kind of have to because they're brothers, you know? It's not a deal breaker, but personally, I think the movie would have been stronger if they had a tighter bond, which would have added emotional weight to their story. But now that I'm thinking about it, this movie doesn't really care about emotions. It's just basically telling you that everybody dies and that shit sucks. I also felt like they didn't really explain how this monkey got powers. Where did this monkey come from? Why is this monkey doing what it's doing? What's the logic behind it?
How does it pick the people it's gonna kill?
It didn't really explain any of that. It didn't really give off any explanation to what this monkey was. You just knew that if you wind it up, somebody dies. I wanted them to explain it a little bit more. If you're gonna give me supernatural and you're gonna make this monkey have powers where it can kill people based off of the song it plays, then frankly, you need to kind of give me a little bit more. Like, I need reasoning. Like, just explain it just a little bit. I don't know if they're gonna wait for a sequel to happen in order to dive into like the rules of the monkey, but I was just missing that a little bit. I feel like the movie kind of ends on a weird note, and I think some people will have trouble understanding what it means. But I feel like it takes from a movie that the ending also fits perfectly for it, if that makes sense. Like, based off of the movie that is modeling after, the ending, obviously, to me, was expected. I was kind of waiting for it to happen. Whether you love it or hate it depends on how much you enjoy open-ended conclusions. Do we get a sequel? Is this the end of this world? I don't know. Either way, I'm here for it. Speaking of the ending, at the end of the credits, you will see a teaser to Osgood Perkins' next film, Keeper. It's something that they didn't show in the previews for the film, and it only came out for the wide release. So stick around for that and let me know what you think about that. Overall, I give this movie a solid B. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's exactly what makes it work. It's not a groundbreaking horror film, but it's fun, gory, and engaging enough to satisfy the casual horror fan and everyone. If you're looking for a movie that delivers on kills, thrills, and laughs, it's worth a watch. If you watched The Monkey, let me know what you thought in the comments. Did it satisfy your horror needs, or did it do some weird stuff that you were just like, nah, I'm straight? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button for more. Hey, thanks for watching to the end of the video. You must have liked it, so hit that subscribe button. And if you want to watch the next video, it's right here, man. Go ahead. What you waiting for?